This article was originally written by my friend Enoch, from the Church of Christ in Livingston.
It's simple to love. It's not a difficult task when you really think about it. To love your neighbour means a number of different things to all of us, and we interpret this command in our own individual way. But the correct way to do this is to do it the way God intends. Jesus said, "Love your neighbour as yourself." In the same way that we love ourselves and we want others to treat us with love, we need to show that same love back. It doesn't matter who they are, what they've done, or where they're from. Our job is to love others. Why? Because Christ said so. It is easy to love our family members because they are family. It's easy to love our friends because they are our friends. But what about loving a stranger? How do we love someone that we don't know? Someone we have no personal ties to? It could be a friend of a friend, the person standing next to us in the bus stop, a work colleague. And yet God calls on Christians to love your neighbour as yourself. We don't love those who we don't know in the same way we love those who we do know, but we can show them acts of love, and this can come in many different forms. An act of love can involve simply talking, sharing a moment with others, or your time to discuss and talk with them about their day and what's currently going on in their lives. An act of love can involve doing something for them that you wouldn't normally do, or that they wouldn't expect. Not because they have asked and feel they have a specific right to it, but because you know it's the correct thing to do, and because you have a want and a desire to help them in a way that will be of benefit to them in their lives or that current situation. An act of love can be big and grand, but it can also be small and humble. What about when the love we give is rejected? Love even more. Christ tells us that the world doesn't reject us, the world rejects Christ. There will be hardships, and many of us have already faced these hardships in a number of ways. As Christians, we share a love of God with others, whether they are close to us or not. Why? Because we want what we have with God to be experienced and shared with those who are yet to find God. And yet, time and time again, we encounter certain individuals who simply don't want to hear it, be near it, or have anything to do with it. But this shouldn't discourage us. Instead, we should be encouraged that God will work through us to share our love for Him with others. And that Christ's example of love will be an example that we too can follow and use within our own lives to show others exactly what kind of God it is that we serve. Christ is the greatest example of love. He treated everyone with love, and so should we. The world wants to hate so badly. And in a world of social media, and even more freedom of speech, young people especially witness more and more each day the real and true thoughts of their peers, masked behind social networks, fake accounts, fake news, and more. The world wants us to hate more and more each day. But we have to decide for ourselves. Are we going to follow what the world wants us to do? Or are we going to listen to our Heavenly Father and love, just as He did when He walked this earth? This week, love. Love yourself, love your neighbour, love God. Do this with a full and wanting heart, so that in every action it pleases our God, and that the love you have for Him and the love you share with others will be seen and recognised. Not to glorify you in any way, but instead that your acts of love and kindness unto others will showcase God, who resides in you, and that His name, and His name alone, will forever be glorified. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Of the 3, the greatest is love, because love is the quintessential nature of God Himself. So love should epitomise our relationship with Him and others.